I am sorry that I did not have a book last week. I went home for the weekend, and so my Friday wasn't really conducive to creating a video. And then I was home until Tuesday and got caught up in things. But I have a ton of books for you this week. I have five. Yeah, that's right, five. So we're gonna start with the one that I liked the least, and I have complained about this literally to my friends and family. It's called Another BS Night in Suck City by Nick Flynn. And it is nonfiction, and it's kind of a memoir. And Nick Flynn is the son of this homophobic, racist, alcoholic, homeless man. He's not homeless when he starts, but he gets there. And he's a con man, and he's a liar, and I do not like his father. And although I can't come quite to hate him, which, I guess is points for you, Nick Flynn. And Nick himself is an ex-alcoholic and druggie, and he works at a homeless shelter, and it's not badly written, I just don't care. I really, I just don't. I had to read this for school, and it is going back to towels when I get home. Because, national bestseller or not, I do not want to read about druggies or alcoholics who live on a boat. Seriously, his mother commits suicide. He lives on a boat for years. I'm sorry if I'm spoiling things for you. I did not like this book. So, it's another BS night in Suck City. If you are into books with not really a happy ending, and they are kind of rambly and there's stories, I think it would have been better if it had humor. It just didn't have any humor actually to draw me in. But it's not a terrible book. It's not a book that I want to read. The next book is Safekeeping by Abigail Thomas. And this is another nonfiction book. It's another memoir. And it's about this woman and her relationships with her three husbands. Her first husband, who she married when she was still in high school, and then her second husband, who a lot of the book is based pretty much, he is the point from there's a before and there's an after, because he is very sick, and she tells you this right off. She's like, you are the point that I have a beginning, a past, and a post. And it's actually an interesting book. The chapters are really short. It's not very long. It's less than 200 pages, actually. And it was a fast read. I read it just in one Saturday afternoon. And it also was kind of, devoid of humor. It had a little bit, which was nice. But it was an interesting book. It's one of those books you read and you're like, And sometimes I'm not sure I got all of what she was saying because I don't want to look deeper, and I just go with, this is what a moment can hold. Alright, you know what a moment can hold. Good for you. And so, it was a pretty good book. It's Safekeeping by Abigail Thomas. Well, it wasn't a good book. It was kind of, I'm okay having read it. I don't feel like I've wasted my life, but I probably won't read it again. The book after that, the next book I have is Ubik by Philip K. Dick. Another Philip K. Dick class book. And this one is odd, as all his books are. You have this group of, they're called Psis, which is short for psionics, psychics, people who have telekinesis, telepathy, precognition, which is apparently a very popular trope in science fiction. Who knew? Probably people who read science fiction. And it is about this group of, I think there's 12 or 13 of them, who are anti-psi. They negate the psychic abilities. And so they work for this prudence organization that is like, you have psychics who have infiltrated your business? Call us and we'll negate them. And then we'll just go away. Mwahaha. Yes, they really do sound like that. They just mwahaha. So, and then this group of 12 takes a job and things go wrong, and at that point you're just really, it's twisted, and you're like, who died here? Are the 12 dead? Is their leader dead? Who? I'm confused. And it's really one of those that rolls together a bunch of genres, because you have the whole psychic thing, which I firmly place in fantasy. I think that if you can't explain it through science, it's not science fiction. But you also have the science fiction of it's a world in the future, and you have hover cars, and everything makes you pay it. You have to pay your door a nickel so that you can leave. So that's kind of like a science fantasy with the psychics and the science fiction, and then you also have a little bit of historical mixed in there, because things are regressing. They're going back in time. So you start with like the modern TV, and then you go back to, okay, here, this is what we'll do. You start with your iPod, and then it regresses back to maybe like one of the first iPods that came out that was huge and kind of clunky. And then you go back again, and you just have a CD player. And you go back again, and you have a Walkman. You go back again, and you just have the radio in your car. And you go back again, you have 8 tracks. And you go back again, you have a record player. And it's really, that was kind of cool for me. I really enjoyed that. And so it's got a little bit of historical mixed in there. And it's one of those books that he almost has a book that makes sense. It's like, it has a conclusion, and it's good, and we know that the fight will go on. And then the end happens, and you're like, no, why? Why do you need to make it ambiguous like that? But it was a fun book. But out of the books that I've read for class this quarter, this is probably my second favorite, because I really love to do Android's Favorite Electric Sheep. So that's Ubik, or Ubik, however you pronounce it, by Philip K. Dick.